Sondo's eyes narrowed as he waited in the dimly lit alley. He'd set this up carefully, reaching out through a third party to arrange the meeting with Maniac and Psycho. They'd been cocky enough to agree, no doubt believing they could handle anything he might throw at them. But Sondo wasn't coming to play games. He'd known for days now that they'd killed Remy, taking him out over a petty sum of money that wasn't even there. And tonight, they were about to pay for it. Footsteps echoed down the alley, and soon, Maniac and Psycho stepped into the circle of light cast by the single street lamp. Maniac smirked when he saw Sondo, a glint of arrogance in his eye. Psycho stood beside him, his face as impassive as ever, hands casually resting on his belt. "You asked for a meet, Sondo," Maniac said, his tone laced with condescension. "So, what's all this about? Trying to play boss now that Remy's gone?" Sondo's face was unreadable, his stance calm but tense, like a panther waiting to strike. "Remy didn't have to die," Sondo said, voice cold as ice. "He was done paying you, but you two couldn't let that slide, could you?" Maniac's grin faded, but Psycho just shrugged. "Business is business, Sondo. You, of all people, should understand that." Sondo tightened his grip on his gun. "You killed my brother." "Remy was a liability," Maniac said, his voice hard. "And now, so are you." Maniac chuckled, exchanging a glance with Psycho. "Remy had it coming. You think we're losing sleep over some street rat who couldn't pay up?" "Rat?" Sondo thought to himself. Psycho gave a slight shrug, his lips curling into a smirk. "It's business, Sondo. And now that he's gone, you should be thanking us. Leaves more room for you, don't you think?" Sondo's jaw tightened, his gaze unyielding. "You crossed a line. Remy was family, and family doesn't go down without consequences." Maniac snorted, his hand moving subtly toward his side. "Consequences? Sondo, you're barking up the wrong tree. You're out of your league here." Before Maniac could even finish his sentence, Sondo's hand moved in a blur, drawing his pistol and firing 2 precise shots. Maniac's eyes went wide with shock as he staggered, clutching his chest, the smirk vanishing as blood seeped between his fingers. Psycho barely had time to react before the third shot hit him squarely, sending him stumbling back into the shadows. Silence fell, thick and final, as the echoes of the gunshots faded into the night. Maniac and Psycho lay motionless on the ground, their faces frozen in surprise. Sondo lowered his weapon, his expression cold, almost unreadable. He took a moment to look down at the 2 men, the dirty cops who'd torn a piece out of his world in their greed and arrogance. They'd taken Remy's life, all over a stash they thought was worth it. But in the end, all they'd killed him for was a small stash of cash that Slick had planned to run away with, pocket change compared to the loyalty they'd betrayed. Sondo stepped back, slipping his gun into his jacket, and turned away from the bodies without a second glance. Tonight was the end of a chapter, but not the end of the story. Remy's murder was avenged, but Sondo knew the streets would keep demanding more, and he'd be there, ready, for whatever came next. In a world of loyalty and betrayal, those who live by their own rules must also be prepared to face their own consequences. Sondo's story is a lesson in the power and the cost of loyalty. When we chase greed and turn on those closest to us, we destroy the bonds that hold us together. But vengeance, while it may bring closure, also has a way of binding us to the same cycle of violence we sought to escape. In the end, true strength lies in understanding when to protect what matters and when to walk away. We hope you've enjoyed. Until next time.
I'm just trying to hit another lick and put my dogs on. Free my niggas till I see my niggas, cause we all wrong. Pour a lick and roll another with you, this my song, y'all. Feel the rules, I just miss my dudes that I could call on.